Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, Service Alliance community. How is everybody doing out there today? Good morning, Shayna.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
There you go.
What?
You didn't come through there for a second.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Garrison. Good morning, world. It's just such a great day out there. It's going to be so beautiful today. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. How's the weather down there where you're at? Because it's been pretty chilly and rainy and crappy here.
I'm back to being barefoot.
Back to being barefoot. You are so country, I swear.
I definitely don't live in Chicago.
Nope. Oh. It's a different world up here compared to down there. Same state, different worlds.
That's why I'll just stick down here. Good morning, Garrison.
We got Adam showing up. Be on with him tomorrow for the first time. I haven't been on with him yet, so that should be fun. And Jason, your hubby,
Bo Basin, Banana.
So,
yes.
Have you had a good week?
It has been a very busy week. I don't know. Like last week, I was at MSA. So, when you're out of the office, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have. You spend the next week trying to make up for being out of the office. And then we normally fly out of St. Louis because it's 2 hours from here. But instead, Austin and I flew out of Nashville. And then I flew back into Nashville where I met Jason and stayed there until Monday. Got back here Monday afternoon. So yesterday, what is today? Today's Thursday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Like it has just been one thing after another. I feel like I can breathe today. I have a lot of tasks to do, but I don't have any Zooms. I don't have anything that is just going to keep me from doing stuff that needs to be done. So
start to breathe. Just make a list. Yeah. Knock those easy ones off first, and you won't have any hard ones.
Oh, they're all hard. I've got to still reach out to all the MSA people too, because it literally has just been on the go. So I'm super excited. It was a great event. They said it's first one in 9 years. So I don't know. They don't know if they're going to do it every year again, because they used to do it every year, and then they switched to every other year, and then 2016, and then it's the last one they did. They were going to do one, and then around COVID, when COVID hit, and so they canceled it. I do know from what I was told, they have changed up from last time, because there was a lot more business events, business classes. And the next time they have some other plans in mind with adding other trades. So it will only continue to get bigger. So they're pretty excited. But I don't know if it's a year from now, 2 years from now. They're still trying to figure that out. So
that's great.
Hopefully just not in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, we'll be going there in September for the PSA convention. So
my office help will be there.
You better be.
Austin is super excited about going again. So
all the cool people are going to be there. You guys should be there. Everyone should be there.
Everyone should be there.
Everyone. We're doing 9, maybe even 10, but we're for sure doing 9 business classes. So
wow.
We're stepping up the game with them. So
yep.
It should be a really cool convention. What's that?
We got at least two. It depends on who goes. If Jason goes, he'll teach the disc. If he doesn't go, then Austin will teach both of the classes. So Austin's excited. We didn't do any classes at MSA, but wants to next time. So
that's awesome. All right. So today we're talking about selling peace of mind, how to articulate the value of reliability and warranty. So a lot of people don't know how to articulate their own value. So that's what we're going to talk about. How do you do that?
Well, good. Figure that out.
So we're continuing our theme of articulating the value of your service with a focus on something that we obviously think is a hugely undervalued area in our industry, and that's being able to sell your reliability, right? So it's not just about fixing appliances, it's about helping customers sleep better at night.
So we're going to address the two questions that customers ask. How much is it going to cost? And how much peace of mind am I going to get from this? And how much peace of mind is not one that is verbally said, but man, it is there. It really, truly is there. And so if you're sitting there actually truly listening to the customer, that's the question that they're actually truly asking is how much peace of mind am I going to get from this? Are you going to take care of my problem? So when customers understand the value of reliability and strong warranties, price is just one factor in their decision.
Yeah. And I mean, businesses that master this concept, they're the ones that are going to be able to command premium prices and have the highest customer satisfaction out there. So that's what's going to make you stand apart from all your competition. So let's get into it. Figure out how we can all better articulate the aspect of our service value. But first, as always, let's open in prayer. And Shayna, you got a verse for us, and we'll get our day started proper here. So, Heavenly Father, I want to ask that you bless us this morning on this fine Thursday morning, and I ask that you be with all of us. Help us to understand our own value and our worth, and that we are children of God, and that our value comes from you, and is the primary value only is in you. And help us articulate the value of our services, our businesses, and what we have to offer, so that we can thrive in this world. That's what you want from us. So in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, so I'm going to read from Ecclesiastes 4, 9, and 10. It says, 2 are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other one up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. So what this verse is speaking about is the value of support and reliability in relationships. It beautifully captures the essence of what appliance repair business offers their customers. So being there with something when something falls down or breaks, and providing the help needed to restore it back to normal. The verse emphasizes the peace of mind that comes from knowing someone reliable will be there when problems arise.
I think
So let's all be.
that's the struggle with this entire industry is, there's so many unreliable people out there. So it gives the industry a stigma, and you have to break out of that somehow. And the only way that you can really do that is by having some processes on how that are consistent, so that you can be the company that stands out and breaks that cycle. Because not every company falls into that. There are standout companies. So that's what we're talking about today. And it's all emotional, right? So we're dealing with emotions. We're dealing with emotional customers, emotional people. And that's what we have to get through.
Yep. So we're going to first dive into the customer's mindset. So what's going on when someone's fridge stops working or the wash machine floods, right? What's going through their mind, Mike? What is it?
Chaos, right? So they're inconvenienced. Their fridge is down. They're losing their food. They're worried, how am I going to keep my food cold? How am I going to keep it from spoiling? Like everything is just a mess, and you mentioned a flooded washer. I mean, come on. How much damage is that going to cause? Is there going to be mold? how many days is this going to put me down from getting my laundry done? Like it's a complete disruption of their regular day, their routine. Now they know they have to take off work so that you can come out and fix it. And they have to actually find someone that will answer their damn phone. So I mean, there's all these things that these customers are just going through their mind. And am I going to get screwed in the process?
And you said it right there. Am I going to be able to get service? So then another emotion is an uncertainty. So the questions that they could ask is, will the repair person actually ever show up? Will they fix it right the first time? Am I being overcharged? Will it break again? Like we went through that with the electrical company. And I know that there are some, like you get into more cities or larger areas, you do have electrical companies, especially now, more than it was in 2004 when Jason and I took over, that you could actually rely on. But there's still 90% of electricians you couldn't rely on. And here in this area, you couldn't rely on any of them. None of them gave a good certainty to the customer and ease that emotion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, here's an insight that repair businesses miss. Your customers seem obsessed with price, but price isn't the real focus. They're often actually experiencing fear of wasting money. So it's not how much is your service fee. That's an expression of, okay, what am I going to be spending money on? Is it going to be a waste? Is it going to solve my problem? So price sensitivity it's often just a mask for their concerns for hiring somebody reliable is what it comes down to.
Yep.
So how do you convey that?
Yep. Well, and then one of the things I think that we miss as business owners is actually thinking from the homeowners side of things, because they're actually thinking also on top of all those other emotions, they're also thinking, how is this going to disrupt my daily schedule? What am I going to do about work? Do I have to miss work? Do I have to deal with my dogs? That would be in my house. Childcare, healthcare issues, especially like COVID was a huge thing. When you had homes that had someone with immune systems, and trying to, like, how do I have someone in my home when my family member is can get sick easily, and I still feel safe. Like, we forget that that those customers have those emotions and those concerns, and that from the very start of the very first phone call till the time we walk out the door after it's been repaired, like, we need to remember those also. It's not just about us, it's about serving that customer.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have empathy for their situation. So such a good point, because you need to make that mindset shift from being the technician to the human impact of what's going on their end. So what's our first actionable step? Start documenting the real world consequences for your customer experiences when the appliances fail. All right. It becomes your emotional vocabulary when you're connecting your value to them. So when you understand their situation and you empathize with them, you make a connection. And once they realize that you understand and you empathize with them, there's a much bigger connection and barriers drop, and then you can start articulating your value a lot more, and you'll have far less walks, and you'll increase your job sold rate.
Yeah. Well, and like we said a while ago, a lot of time the emotion of the customer, you can actually deal with 90% of that emotion on the phone. So fully training your staff to understand that's one of the reasons why, and we've talked about it many times in the past, using the DISC profile to help with that. Getting team members that fall on that S spectrum, where S is sensitive, they really truly do care about the customers. So when someone calls in and says my washing machine broke and I have a newborn, I'm looking at this because I'm not a sensitive person. I'm looking at it as if, who cares? Your baby has probably 3 months worth of outfits. You could wait until the baby moved up to the next size and you still have enough outfits for the baby. Like, you're fine. Someone who is sensitive will be like, oh, that sweet baby, we need to get that washing machine fixed. So taking that stress level down a notch happens on the very first contact, which is the phone call. So fully training your staff to understand and listening for emotional cues, listening for the stress in the voice, mentions of special events being disrupted when we're trying to schedule things, their concerns about health and safety. So that's some opening positions to set yourself up to be able to help with the real problem.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, think about it. If something breaks down, like you mentioned special events, birthday parties. They could have a birthday party coming up. They could have, any number of things coming up that could be disrupted. You
Well,
don't know what their life is.
like ovens on Thanksgiving. So
Yeah,
everybody's oven breaks down at Thanksgiving, and we all know that. So
yeah, exactly. So once we understand the emotional landscape, how do we actually build and communicate reliability in with what we're doing? So just because we say, we're reliable, what does that even mean? Everybody says that. Everybody thinks that they're reliable. So if every competitor says that, that doesn't make you unique. We offer great customer service. I hear all the same things from every single appliance repair company that we meet with. Like, what's your unique value proposition? They don't have one because they're saying the same crap that everybody else is saying. So there's nothing unique about it. So
yeah.
You really need to articulate what is your unique value proposition, and the key word is unique. Make yourself unique. What do you offer that nobody else in your market is offering? So what's the next thing?
Well, so the next thing is really truly understanding, like you were talking about just then, because we show the technician, I say we, but the technician shows up. And if we don't train the technicians right, they think that the service call is all about just their technical experience, right? They're there to fix it. Let's just fix it and let's leave. But we, like you said, reliability, there's so many times that we've seen it on trucks. I mean, even in names, reliability electric, reliability plumbing. On the side, you have 3 words, you have reliable. What does that even mean? Like, everybody can say that they're reliable, just like you can say that you have the world's best barbecue. Do you really truly have the world's best
It's
barbecue?
subjective.
Like, it is very subjective. But if you have that word on your truck, okay, that's fine. But let's make sure that you're living up to that. So it's really truly about creating predictability at every single touch point. It starts with the first phone call. Are you answering quickly? Are you clear about when the technician arrives? Does the technician arrive on time? Are you going to make a phone call to them if you're running late? Like, all of those things is what makes you reliable.
Yeah, those small consistency points, they do make a huge difference with your customer. Something as simple as text alerts, that you're going to be arriving, half an hour ahead of time, just as a reminder to make sure that they're home. If they're out running errands, they've got 30 minutes to get their butt home, so if you're running late, just pick up that phone call, like Shayna said. Make that phone call. Things like that can dramatically improve your customer perception of your reliability.
Yep. And one more thing that you could do is doing transparent diagnosis. So many times you have someone come in your home, and we had this happen with my fridge that broke. I did not believe the technician that came to diagnose my fridge, because he just came out and he said, "This is what I think it is." And I didn't feel like he did enough diagnosis to really truly tell me that it's wrong, but yet he wanted me to pay $450 for this repair. Guess what? I didn't do it. Now, we had another company come out. He actually spent time with Jason. He talked to Jason through it. He showed him what was going on. So, you can either take photos of worn out parts, you can explain what you're seeing, you can document things, but he actually talked to us. It came out to basically the same price as the other company. I think actually it was a little bit less. But to me, the price was subjective. I believe this guy, same exact problem that was diagnosed the first time, but I didn't believe the first guy. But it was because he just came and said, here's the problem, here's the price, let's fix it. Right? He didn't build confidence in me. So
And how much extra time did that company take versus the first one?
maybe 5 or 10 minutes, maybe. It was really more about just like as he's doing the work and as he's talking to us, just adding a few extra words and building more confidence, allowing me to ask questions. Why do you feel it's that way? Whereas this other company, who we've had in here many, many times because they do all of the warranty warranty work in this area, they are literally on the phone, on and off, in your house, in and out. Like they don't do anything to help with the emotions.
Yeah. So if you're like demonstrating the thoroughness is huge, right? So I think that's a massive improvement, and that does make you unique. So I guess another thing is how can you do that and basically document it and go that extra mile? Like what else could you check on all these different machines? Like check the water line connection if you're working on the fridge, clean the coils. Like what can you do that isn't going to cost you anything except a few minutes of time? That's just going to make that experience that much better, and I saw TK posted the other day, for example, how many of you do a thorough inspection of your machine? And he showed, I think it was a dryer. He showed, this thing just completely disassembled, and then showed before and after video or pictures of the machine after he cleaned it, and just cleaned it all up and just did a thorough inspection and made sure that it's ready for that customer, to use. And they don't have to call him back because something else burned out because of another issue, and that made his service very reliable because now he just helped make the machine more reliable. So those are some little tips and tricks that are going to make you stand out, and the customer is going to appreciate that. Don't just 100% do it. You still need to articulate that you're doing it and why you're doing it. And if they feel that they just got a freebie out of you as an added bonus, how much better is that going to make them feel that they made the right choice? Because you went the extra mile and you didn't upcharge them, for these little free things that didn't cost you anything but a couple minutes.
Yep. You want to put TK's up there. He says 1-year warranty, prioritized service, excellent communication. That's the key. Excellent communication. Above and beyond care. So what is above and beyond care? Like, what is it that you can do to go above and beyond? Jason even talks about where you park and how you knock on the door and wearing shoe booties in the home, putting down mats so you don't scratch floors or countertops. Customer education. We're huge about customer education. Like, don't just go in there and fix the one issue. Suggest, educate the homeowner why they need to have their coils clean, why they need to Even if you're there for a refrigerator, when was the last time you had your dryer cleaned out? Like, what are those other things that you can do to educate the homeowners? Which not only, like, yes, it does put money in your pocket, but it also builds your value. Anyways, he also said just calling the customer back puts us ahead of most of our competitors. 100%. 100%. The number of people that I talk to in the service industry that is the owner answering their own phones. And then I said, how reliable are you on answering your phones? Well, like, I try to call back at the end of the day, or I try to call back when I'm in my truck, and I lose over half my calls. Like, you're not being reliable. You're not hoping that customers' emotions that they're going through.
Yeah.
So
I talked to somebody yesterday. I was on Zoom with them, and I asked them that very question. I'm like, how are you at answering the phones? Because if you're not answering your phones, near 100% of the time, then you don't need someone like me to do digital marketing that's just going to bring you more phone calls that you can't handle. And he's like, oh, we answer 100% of the calls. And I'm like, well, who answers the calls? Who's actually answering? Do you have a CSR? Do you have someone dedicated to doing that task? And he's like, no, it's all me. So while we're discussing this, I'm dialing his number, while we're live on Zoom, without telling him. I'm off on the side dialing his number. And sure enough, I hear his phone ring and he doesn't answer it. And I said, flat out, I said, you're a liar. You're not answering your phone 100% of the time. Yes, I do. Every single call. And I said, you just got a phone call just right now and you didn't answer it. He's like, well, I didn't recognize the number. And I'm like, duh. I'm like, it was me calling you. You didn't recognize the number, but that's just proof right there. You're not even answering every call. He's well, I call people back if they leave a message. I'm like, what if they don't leave a message? What's the contact point there? Do you ignore it? Do you not call them back? So I was like, that's a problem in your business. And you're worried about getting more leads, but if you can't handle the existing leads that you have, then it's all fruitless and it's wasted money. So it was a good exercise with him, and it was a point proven that he really needed to get a CSR. So let's talk warranties. And
so Saul's comment there says answering the phones is the first line of defense. That's where the experience begins. 100%.
Absolutely.
Saul was my new best friend. I met him for the first time last week at MSA. So good morning, Saul.
Did he bring you any Cuban coffee?
He did not, but that's okay. I don't drink coffee, so yeah, I'm cool with that. So
I've been in his backyard twice, and he didn't even bring me Cuban coffee. I'm still disappointed, but I'll be back in July, so I definitely better get some Cuban coffee. So he says he's better looking in person.
He's pretty good looking. So.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word.
I had no clue what to expect. I've never seen a picture of him until he walked up and introduced himself, and I think I jumped and screamed a little, and then I choked on some food that I was trying to eat.
Too funny.
Anyways,
all right, let's talk about warranties. I think it's one of the most understood tools in the repair industry. Many owners see them as a necessary evil, as a cost center they're trying to minimize. But I personally think that's backwards thinking. I think it's a tool that you could definitely use as a confidence statement.
Yeah.
So how did you guys convey your warranty?
So our warranty, we actually grew into the warranty that we had. One of the things that we did back in, it was 2006, when we were first trying to figure out what kind of warranty do we want to do, we actually secret called other electrical companies in our area, because we had no clue. Like, what do we were part of a national organization, but we're like, we want to see, what is people in our area doing? Very few did anything I can't even remember. I think there might have been one company that maybe said a 1-year electrician, 1-year warranty. I had literally words straight from him. We said, "What is your warranty?" And he said, "I have a concrete warranty. The moment I leave your concrete driveway, the warranty is up." He literally said that on the phone to us. And we like, okay, so we went with a 1-year warranty, right? Because that was the most anybody was doing. But it was good, right? We actually went a step farther. And now you probably can't do this for appliances. I wouldn't suggest doing this for appliances, but we said, what can we do that makes us stand out, that makes our work last longer than the rest? And we actually had some products that gave a lifetime warranty on our work. So you had a specific breaker box that you could install, because guess what? That breaker box actually had a lifetime warranty on it as well. Surge protector. So as long as they did the breaker box and they did this surge protector on their home, the breaker box was a lifetime anyways. But if you put that surge protector on there, any other work we did, it had a lifetime warranty. So, we had to think outside the box, and because of that, our prices may have been higher than the guy down the road if people were shopping around. But Jason did a lot of breaker boxes because
But
of
it
the
was
value.
much more valuable because of that lifetime warranty. So
Yeah,
when you're looking at the warranty, the price doesn't matter as much.
yeah,
It's more value.
yeah. And I mean, we have companies everywhere from a 30-day warranty up to a 1-year warranty, or 1 year on warranty and 90 days on parts. Like, it's all over the charts, and it really truly doesn't matter. Like, you decide what's best for you, but also try to think, can you stretch it and go farther? Like, that was our thing. Like, yes, an outlet could go out after a year, right? And underneath our warranty, we had to go out and replace that outlet. But how often did that actually happen? That was the question that we had to ask. How often
Yeah.
did someone actually have to use that lifetime warranty? Actually,
I mean,
I can't
many
recall one
businesses,
time.
they dramatically overestimate the cost of standing behind their work, and especially with longer warranties. But the percentage of callbacks on quality repairs is
Yeah.
typically really low. So, um, what would you say is some practical advice or a practical exercise?
So, to pull service records from your past years and then calculate your actual warranty claim rate. And if you don't have like past years, you're newer, or you don't know how to go past, start now. Spend the next 3 months, 6 months, spend the rest of this year looking at, I did this job. What kind of warranty, like, are people calling back after 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? Like, what are the jobs that I'm actually truly getting? Like, if I got a call today for warranty work, how long ago was that? What was the problem? So you have to figure it out, or, like, I mean, become friends with a larger company that has it figured out. Plenty of them at these different conferences that you can actually get in with. You've got masterminds, you've got groups with the Service Alliance group. Get in those groups and put your heads together. Figure out what you can do that makes you better than the rest, that can ease more of your customers' minds when it comes to warranty work. So many of the businesses find that under 3% of jobs actually need to go underneath the warranty. So that means that there's plenty of room to be able to extend the terms without there being significant cost.
Yeah, I mean, let's shift into how to present your warranties and talk about how warranties are presenting. So most warranties emphasize and focus on the limitations. This isn't covered, that's not covered. Instead, make sure you're framing it positively. And, this warranty ensures that your appliance will work perfectly for the next 12 months. I mean, you need to be confident in that, right? So if you're taking the extra steps to thoroughly inspect that unit, and you're pretty confident that you can say it's going to work perfectly in the next 12 months, convey that. We believe it's all in the way the word statement comes across. So if anything related to your repair fails during that time, we'll fix it at zero cost to you. Obviously it's going to depend on the age of the machine and what type of machine. Use your best judgment there, but just make sure that you're articulating the value of those warranties to the customer.
Yep. So some other options are actually giving the customer options. So like with us, if they installed a whole home surge protector, we knew that the whole home surge protector was going to extend the life of everything electrical in the home. That does include appliances as well, just so you know. So if you do have an electrical license and you're able to touch a breaker box, I highly recommend it. If you don't know which one is a good one, just reach out to myself or Jason. I'm happy to help you out. That was one of the ways that we gave options. Some other ways that you can, like, let's think outside the box. How about doing different prices? For Mrs. Jones, for this much money, you have this kind of warranty. If for $20 more, you have a 2-year warranty. Like, think outside the box. Like, is there options that you can give the customers? Customers love options.
Yeah,
but then also remembering it's about
maintenance plans have options. They're great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
So one of the immediate actionable steps that you can take is review your warranty documents today. Remove negative language when you're presenting them, and make sure you're exuding that confidence in your service. I guarantee you it's going to make a big difference in your business, and you will no longer have as many challenges about your pricing, and especially about your service call, because your service call fee, it's negligible. That really shouldn't even be an issue, no matter how much you charge, because the repair cost is what you should be talking to the customer and focusing on, and along with that includes the repair and warranty. So focus on that. Take their focus off the price of your service call. Put the focus on resolving their problems and how you're going to stand behind that resolve. So make sure that you put that in a nice document, with your logo, all your branding, and then, a warranty should feel like a promise, not a legal disclaimer. It's a promise, and then stand behind that promise. So how else can we communicate peace of mind?
So how about training your team to translate technical information so that it gives peace of mind? Don't talk to the homeowners as if they really truly understand appliance lingo. You need to lower your words so that they can understand exactly what they're saying. I was watching this reel the other day, and it was talking about the guy was describing a passage of scriptures in the Bible, and then all of a sudden it flips the camera over to this little girl, and she goes, "Explain it to me like I'm 6 years old." And then so he went back and he explained it as a 6-year-old. And I sent that to my sister-in-law, and she said that would be me, the 6-year-old, saying it that way. That's what we have to do. We have to talk to our customers that way. Explain it to them as if they're 6 years old. It's not that they're dumb, but homeowners typically don't understand the lingo of the words. And like, dumb it down a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah, just use plain English. You don't even have to dumb it down. Just make it plain English. A lot of times we're we're technical people, in our
Yep.
industry. I'm that way in my industry. I could talk all day long about all the technical stuff that we do, but I'm not expecting my clients or prospects to understand any of that. They
Yeah.
just they just know what they want as an end result. So I need to walk them through, okay, you have this problem and you want this result. Here's everything in between that we're going to do to help you get there. And that's it. That's all they need to know. We don't need to go into too much detail and endless conversations. You just need to speak in language that is easy to understand. So, you don't need to go into all the technical details why their appliance failed as much. Say if it failed because of X, Y, and Z. We don't need to go into that unless that customer is some kind of, retired engineer and he's just all geeky about it. That might be a different story. But the general
Yep.
homeowner, definitely not.
Well, and another way of communicating peace of mind is, how about social proof? Do you have customers leaving you reviews? Reviews are gold. Gold. Are they leaving you reviews? Are you asking for the reviews? Do you have systems backing you up asking for the reviews? Um, and Jason loved doing video testimonials. So when he was in the customer's house, and he'd be like, "Hey, do you care if I do a video? Would you mind doing a video testimonial?" And he would actually do video testimonials and take those and make social media posts out of them. Like, don't don't let people just rely on your word for it. Get your customers to say it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. There's even even if the visual elements matter, your service vehicles, uniforms, all that, in your written materials, they should all reinforce that you're selling peace of mind, not just repairs. What's a simple tactic related to
How about, yeah, how about having the technician close every single job saying, "Is there anything else I can explain about what I did today to give you complete confidence in the repair?" So that right there reinforces the peace of mind.
Yeah, and even after you have that conversation and you explain everything, there's I I do this just to make sure that every person that meets with me fully understands everything. Because if they leave a conversation and they've still got questions, that means I didn't do my job or I didn't
Yeah.
give them the opportunity um to ask questions. So make sure that you are giving that homeowner an opportunity to answer questions. It's not all just a sales pitch and close the job, fix the machine, and then leave. You need to say, do you have any questions? Is there anything that you're concerned about that I have not covered yet? That's going to show that you're giving them an opportunity to respond and that you care about what they're feeling and the questions that they have. So that goes a long way as well. It's they want to have that opportunity to feel heard. So you need to give them that opportunity to feel heard. All right.
Saul says, "Do you want peace of mind? Charge accordingly, train your people, and keep it simple." 100%. He also said that I have an awesome son. So I'm just going to say I agree with him. So thank you, Saul. So we've covered a lot of ground today. So from understanding of emotions to the impact that appliances failing can cause, to communicating peace of mind throughout the customer journey. The key takeaway is that we're not just in the repair business. We are in a peace of mind business. We're in a people business. Like, that's what we're doing. It doesn't matter what kind of repair you're doing. We are in the people business. Let's give them peace of mind.
Yeah, absolutely. When you shift your mind from selling repairs to selling reliability, it's going to transform how you operate and how you communicate and ultimately what you can charge. Customers will pay a premium for certainty and in especially in an uncertain situation, right?
Yep. And don't forget about consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Peace of mind isn't delivered through grand gestures, but it is through reliable service, reliable processes, reliability at every single touch point, all the way from when I said earlier, from the time you answer your phone till the time the technician walks out the door. You need consistency. You need those everything, every single touch point to be consistent, reliable, to build peace of mind with that customer.
Yeah. So here's our challenge for everyone out there for the week. Identify 3 specific ways that you can articulate the right reliability and warranty value that you provide. Maybe try redesigning your warranty document, training your team if you're a multi-tech operation. Your CSRs should be involved in this process as well, because they're your first point of contact with that customer. So they need to also be involved in this. And just train your team on that peace of mind language and implement a systematic follow-up process.
But I would say this. So if you are a single man truck, I understand you only have so much time in a day. You don't have to do all 3. Identify. So sit down and say, what are 3 things that I could change that would make a big impact, that would make me more reliable to the customer, that would give peace of mind to the customer, but then only work on one of them. So which one of the 3 would have the biggest impact? And for the next 7 days, do that one thing. And then once you master that one thing, or you're close to mastering that one thing, or you put it in place, then get at the second thing. But don't forget about the second thing, because those 3 things that you wrote down, you believe made an impact. So set a timeline and get it done and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, this wraps up today's episode of the Service Alliance podcast. Next week, we'll be continuing on, or actually, we're not continuing on this topic. I'll be continuing this topic with Adam tomorrow. My first time on with Adam, so that'll be fun. So make sure you're watching us tomorrow morning. And if you're an all access member, make sure you get into our mastermind on April 19th. TK is going to be doing a great presentation and mastermind talk group session on property management work. So that should be really, really good. And pay the fee, like, subscribe, and share our videos. And we love having you guys on. We love the interaction. So keep that up, and we'll see you next week.
Guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Service Alliance Group podcast. Make sure you visit our website at servicealliancegroup.com for home service business resources.